Guys, welcome back to more AFK Arena. In today's video, we're going to do some initial testing of Mulan over here on the test server. I did test her on my other account early game. I feel like the 9 furniture is going to be very necessary, or she's going to have to be power leveled to gain the real effects. So I didn't have a great test there, but I've got to do a bunch more, and I've just been stuck on a stage for ages, so that's just killing me. But let's test her over here on my free-to-play account, because over here on this account, we should have the 30 signature item, the 9 furniture, and we should be able to test her out, because like I said when I first did the impressions of her, I think that the 9 furniture is going to be like crucial to the way that you want to play her. So let's just go ahead and bind her to something here. We'll go ahead and do Scarlet. Let's just do, maybe I want to test her in bosses though. Let's go with Saurus. That should be pretty safe, I think. Soul Fusion. Correct. Thank you. There we go. Yep. And we also get the 60 engraving, which is perfect. Okay, so there is that one. Now let's jump in and test her. Now, I don't know exactly what what teams I want to do. Yes, invalid. Okay, cool beans. All right, so let's jump in. And I just want to test basically this 9 furniture, how quick it operates. And that's where I think the first viability before we get into like full team composition build-ups and stuff. Now, one thing I do want to test is going to be, let's have a quick look at what I've got in these ones. So let's test it on this one, for instance. So I'm going to just drop this team out for a sec. I'm going to put the Leica out, and then we'll test it with Leica for speed tuning, and we'll see how it goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to put her in the back mid. Now, I also want to test her with Chicken, because I want to see if we can actually hit all 5 enemies. So let's go ahead and put Chicken in there. We're not trying to make like a core, like an amazing team. I'm just trying to test how this works. So all I'm going to do is these 2 for now, just so we can begin the battle and have a look at the way this works, because she's immune to damage while it's happening. Okay, so she's too fast for it, and she doesn't actually get to hit. So Chicken doesn't actually get to apply his effect before she does her stomp, or maybe the others just don't get close enough in that range. As you can see, that knock up, like she hits all 4 of those enemies. She did miss the Respin, but she was hitting 4 of them with that knock up after the group effect, which isn't too bad. So there we go. We knock the 3. Then she uses her ability where she's immune to damage again. And then she does double knock up on 4 of them. It's pretty solid, but like I said, that knock up is not a very long duration. Now, unfortunately, Leica isn't really going to change the interactions between her and Chicken, because they both get sped up. So nothing's really going to change there. And she's just going to keep her main effects. Okay, so that's how it works. So the Chicken idea isn't really going to work, meaning like there was the idea that I had that maybe you do it with Frampton, but that's not going to work either. Now, what I want to test here is let's put her in the front row and just test what she knocks up. So I don't know if she's going to knock up the Silas and the Respin as well here from the front row. So let's just test that. Okay, so if she's in the front row, she's nowhere near as effective, because she's only going to hit the 1 enemy, unless the enemy in the front row is like a Leica that starts further back, or unless Saurus is just a unique one. So let's go here and test it against the Entandra. Yeah, unfortunately, she jumps off in front of the enemy, which is why you really need to have her in a back position. Kind of unfortunate, but let's test this. Let's go the back corner, and obviously she's going to hit the 2 down there. So you can still use her to get a quick and early CC on those ones as well. I still don't know the full effectiveness of the blind on her, so we'll have to wait and see. So honestly, really good for back row lockout. We'll have to see. Let's see if there's any units. Like, for instance, let's take her to this team, and let's test her against the Iron, because I'm looking for like hard counters that she can operate in. So let's check this one here. And this is sort of the way I do my testing when new heroes come out. I normally do a bit of testing first. I just thought I'd show you guys like what I do. So let's see. So let's put someone else in the front row who hopefully won't die. Let's just do this. I don't want a Leica in the team. I'm just going to drop you because you sit in the back row. Okay, so I want to see, but it's not going to pull him. So let's get another tank. Who's tanky enough to survive? Let's just put Albedo there. So let's see if she does get, once again, I'm on my laptop, so apologies for this. Let's see if that Euron is going to get his pull off before she goes. I doubt he will because he has a very slow animation. Okay, sweet. So that is effective. Like you can counter the Euron with that. I'd say you just about counter most things with this, except for things like, surviving pretty decently. Like doing not bad. Damage isn't crazy. Getting that good CC. I mean, honestly, this is not too bad on the survivability. Obviously, we're not fighting a heavy damage team, but it's not too bad. All right, so I feel like she's going to counter most things besides like Athalia. I'd love to be fighting against an Awakened Aziz right now to test that interaction. But against most things, she's gonna counter them. I'm really curious to see if she can stop Kelta's switch because she is so early on the timing. Let's just try this as well. But yeah, things like Athalia and Cecilia that don't actually appear in the battle at the start, she's going to be no good against. So let's go ahead here and let's just test this against. Okay, so she can stop a Kelta switch. That's pretty handy. That is pretty handy. All right, nice. And then obviously she's going to stop Kren's bombs, I believe, as well. So she's a real good like Athalia Nara substitute. And I think she's actually going to operate a lot better than them in some situations because she does give the buffs to the teammate at the start. And also due to that immunity to damage that she does bring. And I mean, in the back row here, she's like doing fine. Like the dodging is happening quite a lot. Like she gets through to the ult as well. And then we get those knockups. And then you got to remember the longer this battle goes, the better she's going to get. And I really think she's going to synergize well with that new beast, increasing the dodge as well, because she's dodging a lot in this. Now, obviously, I'm not at the highest deficit on this account, but it's still decent power deficit. So, like, it's honestly respectable for a lot of players. So I think the dodge is going to be very, very valuable on her. So let's go ahead and actually try some team compositions. Now, I don't think this is the enemy that I want to fight. And obviously with her getting the max HP damage and getting her stacks up, any control, I believe it is going to affect it. So I don't know if I want it. I don't know if she's going to be viable as like a main DPS because of the timing cooldown on it. I think she's going to be more as that supportive character for other teams that are looking to do stuff. So honestly, another thing she can work with is the Raku because the knockups, it is a form of CC that should allow Raku to continue on. But let's go ahead and try. This is what I like. I like the fact that she's probably going to be able to. I'm going to swap teams here because I don't really like that team. Let's go like this one here. So I think what she's going to be able to do is allow other heroes to survive in the front row better as well. So if we look at like a chicken queen combo, if we look at something like the chicken queen, I feel like a lot of the issues that we often have with queen is that she can get clapped really hard. But if we're seeing three of the enemies at the start, you can use her to get the lock on before Queen gets on her motorbike and then goes ahead and stuns them. So I feel like that could be a viable type of solution. So let's just check how this works. So let's just begin battle with this. And take a look. So yeah, we get those stuns. Queen gets her bike out and then gets the stuns. Obviously, we didn't have any other tanks, so the others come up and interrupt, but that is pretty solid. So honestly, pretty impressed with that. We can always bring a Leica to try and just speed things up and get that Queen going a bit faster. Then we kind of need the extra DPS. Like we could, this is the thing, you can do this with the 5-pull method as well. We're going to leave it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a Mishka and try and see if we can stack her up until she starts doing the max HP damage and see if we can actually get some effectiveness out of that. So let's go ahead. Let's put the Mishka in here and just have a look and see how this goes. Now, the Euron is going to get the pull off. I don't think it's going to matter too much. Let's go ahead and see. Hopefully, he just kills one of the wolves and then we can go ahead and keep playing. So, okay, no, he kills Mishka, which kind of sucks. So, and she does drop. So she had too much of the aggro, so that one is not going to work. Okay, so if we go over, maybe this is one of those situations where we could go like this and put her down there just to stop that Euron. And then we can follow it up with the stun. And then we get the Mishka stun. And so this is where we should get a cycle happening pretty solid. Once Queen starts doing her ult, the others up the top are a bit dragged away, which kind of sucks. Hopefully the chicken can get them grouped up a little bit more. Okay, we lost the chicken, which kind of hurts, but I'm keen to see if we can actually finish this battle off and check out the sort of damage that we get. Now, we have got a pretty poor beast in this one, but let's just see. Queen, get another ult, please. And we do get pretty decent chaining. Okay, we've lost the Mishka as well, which is going to hurt. Now, she does have the effect against shields, so maybe she can negate those shields. Not going to happen. Okay, the shield passive effect that she has isn't quite going to cut it in these type of situations, but let's just check. Damage is going to be a bit scuffed now because she's the last one surviving. Let's go ahead and have a look. Yeah, obviously that's going to be the case. So I don't think there's a scenario in which she's going to be a main DPS, maybe a sub DPS with control is going to be the kind of role that she can fill. But I'm curious to see what happens in this. So I'm very, very curious to see what happens here. I'm assuming she's going to stun before the chicken does anything. This is a very interesting one for me. So let's see what happens here. So she stuns. And it does it ruin the 5 pool? No, it doesn't. So it's actually not too bad. If you've got like those 2 enemies and you're using a 5 pool, that's actually pretty solid. I actually kind of like that. I kind of like that because you can stop any threats one in the front row and one in the back row in a 5 pool team and basically shut them down before they get pulled. I mean, that's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. I like it. I like it. I think she'll work in some dimensional teams for those, without, heavy investing into a lot of characters. If you've got Irons built, I feel like she's going to be a good sub-in for an Irons team in some situations to help support. But, I mean, this kind of team works pretty well. And, I mean, I think she's definitely a good sub-in for that, for the 5 pool. That early CC, because that's often what you struggle with. And she does top the damage in that team. I mean, Iron's not crazy damage at the moment in the game. But, I mean, it's pretty okay. I want to say it's okay. It's not too bad. But yeah, I think let's have a look here. So basically what I'm going to say here is I think she's definitely got a lot of viability even at high deficits just for that early lockout. I think it's a very valuable effect. And then I'll have to do more testing to see the way her damage scales and additional stuff like that. Obviously, dodge scaling is going to be worse the later you get. But when you are playing with dodge, it's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of Geralt, where sometimes he just survives forever and sometimes he just gets flopped instantly. So I feel like she's going to be in that similar vein, but when you're playing campaign and doing retries, I don't think it's a massive issue. Plus she is bringing that additional attack buff at the start of battle. Something I really want to test her with is going to be Awakened Thane, because you have Awakened Thane darting to an enemy he's going to CC them. And then she can go to other enemies once you figure out who Thane's going to go to. And you can really lock out at the start and then allow you to get that started. And because Thane's such early burst, then you can use get her attack buff to help aid in that early damage. I feel like something like that could be good because she's not only buffing the damage, but she's also bringing that early control and continued control, because after she does her initial jump off, she's going to do a combo attack where she can't take damage or be CC'd, and then she's going to knock up again and again, and then I think it's pretty solid. But that is early testing. Let me know any team comps you guys think she's going to work in. I'm definitely going to do some more testing on her. I just wanted to share like these early thoughts with you guys. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.